every plague, every sorrow, every death, all traced back to one woman who opened a jar she should not have touched. But here is the part they never tell you. She was built to open it. Every god on Olympus had a hand in creating her. Athena dressed her. Aphrodite made her irresistible. And Hermes placed something inside her mind that made the outcome inevitable. Pandora never had a choice. She was a weapon disguised as a gift. And the thing that stayed behind in that jar, the thing we call hope, might have been the cruelest part of all. There was a time when humans lived in darkness. No worms, no tools, no way forward. They ate raw meat. They died from cold that fire could have stopped. They were alive but barely. The gods had fire and they kept it for themselves. Then one titan decided that was wrong. Prometheus stole a spark of divine fire and carried it to earth. In that single act, human civilization began. Zeus did not forgive. He saw the stolen flame glowing on earth and decided that humanity would pay a price far greater than fire was worth. He chained Prometheus to a mountain. Every day, an eagle devoured his liver. Every night, it grew back. Every morning, the eagle returned. But punishing one titan was not enough. Zeus wanted to punish every human who would ever live. His exact words, recorded by Hesiod nearly 3,000 years ago. I will give men as the price for fire an evil thing in which they may all be glad of heart while they embrace their own destruction. Zeus didn't send an army. He didn't send a plague. He sent something far more cunning, a gift. Zeus did not build his weapon alone. He issued an order, and every god on Olympus answered. Hephaestus went first. He took earth and water and shaped them into a figure with a face, like the immortal goddesses. The most dangerous weapon ever made started as mud. Athena draped her in a silvery gown and taught her weaving. Aphrodite poured grace over her, but added cruel longing and cares that weary the limbs. Beauty that would ache. Other gods adorned her with gold and flowers. Every surface perfected, every detail designed to disarm. Hephaestus returned once more. He placed on her head a golden crown, carved with every creature of land and sea. A masterpiece, made for a weapon. And then Hermes stepped forward. He gave her speech. He gave her a shameless mind. He gave her a deceitful nature. And he gave her a name, Pandora. All gifted. Every god had given something. But here is what Hesiod does not say, what scholars have argued for centuries. The name Pandora is older than this myth. It once meant all-giving, a title for the earth goddess herself. Zeus took a name that once meant life and made it mean destruction. The weapon was ready. Now Zeus needed someone foolish enough to accept it. Prometheus had one brother, Epimetheus. Afterthought. Prometheus warned him, never accept a gift from Zeus. But when Pandora arrived, Epimetheus forgot every warning. He took her in. Together, they had a daughter named Pyrrha. And when Zeus later sent a great flood to destroy humanity, it was Pyrrha and her husband who survived and repopulate the earth. The woman Zeus created to end the world became the grandmother of everyone who came after. Now, there is something you need to know. It was never a box. The word Hesiod used was pithos, a massive clay jar, tall enough to hold a person, used for wine, grain, even burial. The Greeks also buried their dead in pithoi. A jar that releases death was also a jar that held the dead. That is not a coincidence. In 1508, Erasmus mistranslated pithos as pyxis, a small cosmetics box. For 500 years, the world pictured the wrong object. A pyxis is small, personal, feminine, something a woman might keep on her dresser. Pithos is enormous, communal, powerful. The mistranslation did not just change an object. It made the myth smaller. It made Pandora smaller. And here is what matters most. Hesiod never says she opened it out of curiosity. Not once. The text simply says she took off the great lid. The idea that curiosity drove her came centuries later, most likely borrowed from the story of Eve, another first woman blamed for bringing ruin. Hesiod never gives Pandora a motive, because she did not need one. She was doing exactly what she was designed to do. What came out? Disease, suffering, old age. despair, toil. They scattered across the earth, silent and invisible, beyond any human power to stop. Everything except one thing. But one thing did not leave. Hesiod is very specific. Only hope remained there under the rim of the great jar, by the will of Aegis holding Zeus. This was not an accident. Zeus chose to keep hope trapped. The Greek word is elpis. It does not simply mean hope. It means expectation, anticipation, sometimes delusion. Even Homer used the word to mean false expectation, the kind that leads men to ruin. Elpis could save you or destroy you, depending on what you were hoping for. For 25 centuries, scholars have argued about why hope stayed. There are 3 answers. The first is mercy. Zeus left humanity one consolation to endure the evils he had unleashed. The second is denial. Hope stayed trapped, locked inside a jar we can never reopen. Humanity was denied even hope itself. But the third is the one that haunts. Hope is the curse. Keeps us enduring pain instead of walking away. It whispers that tomorrow might be better. And so we stay. Think about that for a moment. If hope is what prevents you from escaping a trap, then hope is not the consolation. It is the trap. Zeus did not leave hope behind out of mercy. He left it because without hope, humans might have simply refused to go on. And his punishment would have ended. Hope is what makes the punishment eternal. But Babrius, writing in the 2nd century, tells a different version. The jar held blessings, not evils. And it was not a woman who opened it, but a foolish, unnamed man. In his version, all the blessings flew back to the gods. Only hope remained at the bottom, not as a prison but as a promise. A promise that what was lost might one day return. Pandora was never the villain. She was a weapon built by gods who needed someone to blame. Hesiod called her Kalen Kaken, beautiful evil. He said all women descended from her, and that they were a curse upon men. For nearly 3,000 years, the world believed him. But look at the text again. Every flaw she carried was placed there by a god. The cruelty was never hers. And hope, the one thing left inside that jar, remains an unanswered question after 27 centuries. We live among everything that escaped. Disease, suffering, despair. And still we hope. That is the real story of Pandora. Not the woman who destroyed the world, but the proof that even when everything escapes, something stays. So what do you believe? Is hope what saves us, or what keeps us trapped? If you want to hear more stories like this, the ones they never told you, subscribe, leave a like, and tell me in the comments.